first, before I begin, I just have to be cheesy and say that this is such a dynamic conference. I've been to many conferences, locally, nationally, internationally, but I can say that this is the first one where this group, the group that's in this room, the diverse kind of skill sets and the leadership that's in this room from all over the world, I have never been in a space like this. So shout out to Teach for All, the Global Institute for just organizing this space. I've been all over, but I've never been in a space such as this, and it's powerful, it's supportive, it's collaborative, so I just wanted to get that out the way. And what I love about a lot of the conversations that I've had with different people throughout the conference, although it's only been a day and a half, it's felt like a long time with the long days, is that I get the sense and urgency that everybody wants to be effective in what they're doing in their respective countries or their respective organizations. And that just, I feel like there's this thing here, that just makes my heart happy, especially as a passionate person. I did this professional development one time for teachers who worked in a juvenile facility in the States. And I did this session for them, and it was about what does it mean to be intentionally effective? And how can we be intentionally effective in the work that we're doing? And when I looked up the word intentionally, if you go talking about AI, if you look on Google and you type in the word intentional, the synonyms that you'll get for intentional are something like deliberate or conscious. If you look up synonyms for the word effective, my favorite words that you'll see are fruitful or potent. So I want to say thank you to everyone in this room who is deliberately, consciously fruitful and potent in the work that you are doing, serving and advocating for these babies, because they're babies and they need you. So thank you and shout out to you. A lot of times we talk about SEL for kids, but I'm going to give you a little SEL for you in your leadership role. You are doing phenomenal work. I want to affirm you. Thank you, because you're needed and you're speaking up for voices who can't speak up for themselves. And that's a powerful, powerful position. It's a blessing to be in. You're working with vulnerable populations and you're their advocate. Thank you for being their superheroes. So we got that out the way. Anyway, just to give a background about me, about 98% of you don't know who I am. And so my name is Jasmyn Wright. Before I tell you about the Push Through organization and what I do, I will say that first off, I am still in the classroom, y'all. I'm 16 years in the classroom. This is year 16. I go back to work on Monday, okay? Unless I get another sick day, okay? So, and just to give you a bit about Push Through, and actually you're like, why do they have this girl here today? So, the quote that I wrote years ago says, imagine who you will become once you become aware of who you are. We're here. Imagine who you will become once you become aware of who you are. I wrote that quote for myself when I was deep in depression, deep in doubt, suffocating with insecurity. I was at my lowest moment of myself. But I knew that there was more to me. I felt it. You just know when there's more. I felt it. And I'm a spiritual person, so I won't bring that into this space. But I was speaking to the higher power. I'm like, there's something else. I feel it. Imagine who you will become once you become aware of who you are. And I knew that if I tapped into it, it will change my entire life. Here, and then my world. I started teaching in 2010 through Teach for America. Shout out Ms. Wendy Kopp over there. I joined Teach for America in 2010. A recruiter came on my college campus and recruited me. And I'm like, teaching? I'm like, they don't make any money. I don't want to be a teacher. And here I am 16 years later, loving the work. But when I became a teacher, it was nothing for academics. It wasn't, of course, I want my kids to be great readers and writers. And of course, I want them to be great when it comes to math. But my purpose was spiritual. I wanted my babies to know who they are. When you leave this classroom, you're going to know who you are. You're going to understand your who, your what, your whens, your wheres, and your whys. You're going to be equipped with a heightened sense of identity. You won't even recognize yourself when you leave this space. You're going to be able to do things that you didn't know that you were capable of even doing. I'm going to expose you to your wings, expose you to the power of your voice. I'm going to expose you to levels of yourself that you never knew existed. The quote that I just said to you is what I have plastered on the wall in the room. Everybody is born with a gift. Everybody is birthed with a purpose, and I make sure that my babies know that despite whatever your trauma tells you, despite your story, despite what's going on, there's more to you and there's more for you. So I'm going to make sure that I equip you with those skill sets in doing that. In 2016, I created an affirmation for my group of kids when I was teaching in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And the affirmation was called, I'm going to push through. So a lot of you asked me about the book or about Push Through. Here's the history of Push Through and the actual organization. I created the call and response affirmation for them because I wanted them to believe in themselves. I wanted them to develop resilience, and I wanted them to just negate any negative thought that they had and be able to speak over that thought and change it to a positive thought. One day, one of my kids said to me, he said, Miss Wright, you should upload this to your Facebook page so that your mom can see it. Because, I would answer the phone when my mom called during class. Because the classroom is a family, it's a living room, it's a safe space. And so I uploaded it to my Facebook, and then lo and behold, it just changed my life. The video went viral, and when it went viral, something inside of me knew, and it said, your life is about to change, because I knew it was bigger than that. Once it went viral, maybe a few months later, the clothing company, Gap Kids, or if you're familiar with Gap, I'm going to show you. Gap Kids reached out to me. They're like, hey, Jasmyn, we saw your video of your kids shouting or chanting, I'm going to push through. We're doing a back-to-school campaign and a back-to-school commercial, and we wanted to know if we can feature your video in our back-to-school campaign and commercial. So they asked me to take the original affirmation mantra, create a new one for their back-to-school campaign, and you're about to see that now.
What if it's too hard? I'm gonna push through. What if it's too rough? I'm gonna push through. What if it's too tough? I'm gonna push through. What if you're just too young? That's not true. What if you're not good enough? That's not true. Why? Because I can do anything I put my mind to. I believe in you. Shut up. Believe in yourself. And I. Tell me why. We push through anything we put our minds to.
Thank you. Now, I cried in the last session, but you're not going to catch me slipping right now. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because whenever I see those babies, those are my black and brown babies from Philadelphia. If y'all knew their story, I'm not going to do it. If you knew their story, you would understand that this fact that their faces are shown all the way in Singapore, I have to let them know about this moment. They're older now. But the interesting part about this video is that it didn't stop. Gap released the video, went viral again. But the difference with this is now Push Through became a movement. Currently, the affirmation that you just heard, the words that you just heard, it's in over 50 countries at the moment. Matter of fact, Malawi, wherever you're in the room, shout out to you. Nigeria was the very first country to start the Push Through movement. Teach for Nigeria was the first Teach for All network to have implemented it in their schools. If some of you are here representing Teach for All networks, Teach for Bangladesh, Austria, London, UK, Teach First, whatever, Nigeria. I'm forgetting because there's so many. A lot of you, I've worked with some of your organizations already because Push Through is there. It's spread all over the world, even still to this day, translated into multiple languages. And it allowed me to see exactly why we're in this room. It's bigger than us, right? This work that we're doing is bigger than us. It's bigger than academics. It's bigger than ABC, 1, 2, 3, mathematician, writing. Children need more. And that's what we've been talking about in this space, in this conference. They need more holistically. They need more nurturingly. They need more here and here. We talked in the session yesterday about false dichotomies. Academics and social emotional learning, as I said yesterday, is an all-day integrated objective, is hand in hand. What are we doing to speak life and sow into these babies because they are emotionally malnourished? Emotionally malnourished. They are in void. We all are, and we're adults. Some of us as adults are in void. They have traumas and stories. Some of them have emotions that they can't even name yet because they're not even old enough to understand the emotion. They're confused and perplexed in the stories that they have. They are emotionally malnourished. And all of you have the beautiful power and you have the beautiful capability to be able to help them in their traumas, or help them in their stories. You are their superheroes in a sense. Your advocacy is their superhero. Your support for them is being their superhero. So again, I just want to say thank you for being in this space. And so we're going to transition now. I'm done preaching. And we're going to transition now. And you're going to hear from 10 speakers who are doing some radical, transformative, and innovative things in education and working in systems in education from all around the world. And they're going to share with you what they're doing to develop children holistically. Now, before I call their names and welcome them up to the stage, I do want to say that Teach for All has received many submissions from other applicants in the room. So I want to acknowledge you as well. Thank you for the work that you're doing. And if you want to share your story, I'm such a talker and I'm a listener. You can just share it with me. I'll just give me some food and something to drink, and I'm chilling. We'll have a good time. But no, honestly, thank you for those of you in this room.